Yeah, so SpaceX was really started with the goal of trying to make life multiplanetary, or making as much progress as possible towards making life multiplanetary. In order to make life multiplanetary, become a spacefaring civilization, in the truest sense of the word, the rocket technology must be improved dramatically. In particular, the holy grail for rocketry is rapidly reusable, reliable rockets. RRR. Like a pirate. With Falcon 9, we've achieved, I think, the most efficient reusability of any rocket to date. We've got boosters now that have flown 10 times, and some that are slated to fly 20 or possibly 30 times. This is a lot of reuse that we're getting. We're also now getting quite good at catching the nose cone fairing. And so when you look at the cost of the rocket, you've got about 60% of the cost, depending how you count it, about 60% of the cost in the first stage, about 10% in the fairing. So that means we're recovering about 70% of the cost of the rocket. And then you've got about 20% of the cost in the upper stage, which is lost every time, about 10% of the cost in the launch itself, and the recovery and refurbishment process. So this is really a very good number for a rocket, but we still need to take this to another level with, that's why we have the Starship development, which is a much bigger rocket. It's the biggest rocket ever developed. It will have more than twice the thrust of the Saturn V moon rocket, and it's designed for full and rapid reusability. So this is with a 100-ton to orbit capability, possibly with further refinements, 150 tons to orbit, and with the ability to launch with no or zero expected refurbishment between flights, but like an airplane. Moreover, it uses lower cost propellant. So it's a 3.5-to-1 mass ratio of oxygen to fuel, and the fuel is liquid methane, which is the lowest cost fuel in the world. And the pressurant is autogenous oxygen and methane gas instead of helium with Falcon 9. So Falcon 9 uses helium. It uses rocket propellant-grade jet fuel, essentially, which is actually quite expensive, and helium pressure, which is quite expensive. So the cost of propellant for Starship, even though it's much bigger, will be really comparable to the cost of propellant for Falcon 9, but it will have full and rapid reusability. So the really crazy thing is that if things go as according to plan, we'll have a rocket with 100-ton to orbit capability that has a marginal cost for launch of around $2 million, which is less than a little Falcon 1 rocket that we started out with. And then with a rocket like with Starlink, with Starship, I should say, when you add in orbital refilling, which really means that 2 Starships need to dock on orbit, one transferring propellant to the other, sort of like aircraft aerial refueling, but this is orbital refilling, primarily of oxygen. Then you can deliver over 100 tons to the surface of the moon or Mars, possibly 200 tons. So Starship is the first system that will be capable of building a base on the moon and a city on Mars.
And